In today's Leeds news, Junior Firpo exit clause released, this week's loan watch, Charlie Cresswell to return to Leeds, and Pgmol to reach out to Leeds. Hey folks, Jer here at The View on Friday the 21st of April. I hope you've all had a really good week. One day away from a massive game tomorrow morning, Saturday, against Fulham. Not a massive amount of information or news going around at the moment. It tends to get like this, especially when there's a big game on the horizon. So we'll get into this. It'll be a short one. We'll fly through it. We'll start off with the news about Junior Firpo. Reports have come out today that there is a clause in Junior Firpo's contract that might affect Leeds should he decide to leave, or if Leeds sell if they get relegated at the end of the season. Firpo has been linked with several European clubs so far over the last couple of months. Which is surprising given the form that he's had at Leeds outside of a couple of games. Leeds, when they signed him from Barcelona for 13 million, Barcelona inserted a sell-on clause in his contract, which may come back to bite Leeds on the backside on this one because Leeds could be on the hook for £2.6 million should they sell Firpo for the same fee at 13 million that they brought him in for. There is a 20% sell-on clause in his contract, which is huge for a player, which means Leeds would have to pay Barcelona 2.6 million should Leeds manage to recoup the same amount of money that they bought him for. Given his history at Leeds and given his form, it's probably unlikely. Leeds are probably end up losing money on him, and they have to pay some of that money that they do actually get on him back to Barcelona. So these deals, they're great, aren't they? They just keep coming back. John Kevin Augustin scored for Ball in Europe last night. Cracking goal, actually. All the Leeds players doing really, 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 really well elsewhere. Let's get into loan watch. We'll start off with Cody Drama, 90 minutes under his belt during the week for Luton, in their 1-1 draw with Reading. Ian Poveda was dropped again from the Blackpool squad, completely not marked as having an injury in their 2-0 defeat to West Brom. Poveda has, under another new manager, has lost his place in the squad again, and this seems to happen every time Blackpool replace their manager. Leo Hjelde, going through a bit of a bad spell, has been on the bench again for Rotherham and again an unused substitute for them in their 2-2 draw with Burnley. Joe Gelhardt scored back-to-back goals in his last 2 games, scored his 3rd of the season for Sunderland in their 1-1 draw with Huddersfield. Joffrey starting to find his form. Lovely goal as well. He's got some really good goals recently. Alfie McCalmont, an unused sub for Carlisle, also looks like he's starting to fall onto the bench more consistently in their 2-2 draw with Stockport this week. Diego Llorente played 72 minutes for Roma in their 4-1 win against Feyenoord in the Europa League, starting off playing the middle of a back 3 for them. A pretty good game by all accounts, and strengthening the possibility of a permanent move to Roma given his recent form there. And that's the loan watch stuff wrapped up. Players missing from that: Charlie Cresswell injured and probably out for the rest of the season. Lewis Bate also out for probably the rest of the season. And Tyler Roberts, who has returned to QPR but isn't expected to play much football between now and the end of the season. Outside of that, we're missing Mateusz Boguts, who has made his move to LAFC permanent as well. So he has gone off of Leeds' books completely. Jamie Shackleton didn't appear for Millwall either. So we'll move on from that. Let's move on then. Let's talk about one of those players, Charlie Cresswell. And according to reports, Charlie Cresswell is set to return to Leeds United. Charlie has appeared to say his goodbyes to Millwall on his Instagram account yesterday. And Cresswell, who has a very tricky season, but positive season at Millwall, started the season off with a lot of goals, but struggling defensively, found himself in and out of the team, was struggling for consistency. But since the World Cup break and since coming back, he established himself as a mainstay in the Millwall team and has been fantastic for them as a defender more so than an attacker. He still scores the goal from a corner, but he's doing his primary job of defending really, really well. Unfortunately, it looks like a broken eye socket is going to rule him out for the remainder of the season. His goal is to get back for the underage European Championships during the summer. But he is likely to return to Leeds. Cresswell can be very, very happy with his spell at Millwall. It showed a huge amount of growth in the player. Again, from that struggle to start the season to a very, very positive finish. And that's exactly what you want to get from these loan moves. I wouldn't even expect him to be available for Leeds throughout the season. Expected not to play again until after May at the earliest. Right. And finally today, said it was a short one. Finally today, the Pgmol look like they are set to reach out to Leeds United. According to Richard Keys, sources at the Pgmol have told him that the first goal against Liverpool should not have stood and was a handball. Keys says, sources tell me that the Pgmol have told Leeds that Alexander Arnold's involvement in the goal should not have stood. It was a handball. The Pgmol have defended VAR in recent weeks and saying that it has had a marked improvement since the World Cup break. However, it does seem to still be the case that teams in the lower half of the table have more issues or face more of these apologies from the Pgmol for VAR mistakes in games versus the top teams who seem to benefit from these. So even with video and technology being brought into it, there still appears to be a bias towards the more senior clubs in the Premier League, we call that, or the top 6 clubs anyway in the Premier League. But teams at the bottom, Wolverhampton Wanderers having several apologies already this season, Brighton having a few as well, and now Leeds being added to that list as well. Probably wouldn't have changed the game, but it's important to point out that, you know, when there is a not the referee in the game not get it right, there's somebody sitting watching a video monitor who also didn't get it right, and it's not great. It's poor. So yeah, that seems to be the case. So that's going to be it, folks. Not a huge amount today, and we will be back on Monday morning with some Leeds news. No plan for a match review on Saturday. I'm at my niece's confirmation, so I won't be able to do that in the evening. However, I might be on the Just Show on Sunday night. Not confirmed yet, don't know, but we'll share it on Twitter or we'll share it in the community tab here on the page, should that happen. Anyway, have a great day. Fingers crossed for 3 points tomorrow. Enjoy your weekend. Win or lose, try and enjoy your weekend. And I'll see you back here Monday morning for more Leeds news. See you then. Bye.